But this not to sell anything to anybody. This is no sales call. I don't sell anything on here anytime, anything like that. I make calls. Um, well, I had somebody else making the calls, but I felt like it was better for me to make these calls. So I'm going back to make my calls a few times a week. So I will call and, try to talk to people then. But this is not a sales call. This is for us to build. So I come on here and we start. And I'm glad that you were able to talk about what you talked about because it went right into what I wanted to talk about. I don't come on here with some pre-planned script or anything. Like I basically come on here to kick it with y'all. So, and I don't ever talk down to people, but I got a certain expertise. Basically what you just explained was that you own a body shop basically and a car lot, and you feel like the car lot and the body shop could do a lot better if you had help. And you stated to me that you needed somebody to be like an office manager, basically, but you were not able to tell me what their duties would be. And we got to the point of you actually admitting that you haven't really looked for an office manager. So, um, I want to touch on that and start the meeting off on video to talk about that. Um, this is most of our situations. This is not a situation that's like specific to you or something that's unique to somebody else. This is most of the entrepreneurs. This is most of their issues, right? Most of the issues is accountability. When you take full accountability of your business, whatever is not working in your business, you saying this is my fault. Whatever is not working, because as I just explained, win, lose, or draw, it's all on you. Even if your wife wanted to join the team and come in and do whatever she wanted to do or she could do, it's still all on you. This is your business. This is obviously your dream. And you want to expand this, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to expand this.
Right.
So in order for you to expand this, you're going to have to get out your own head, right? You're going to have to write down what you actually want this person to do, because you can't hire somebody to do something and not have a job description or some type of duties outlined for them, right? Because you
Right.
don't even know how to fill the position if you don't know what duties they need to do. You don't know if they need to uh, be a word processor, or if you don't know if they need to know AI, or if they need to build a website, or if they need to know automations, or if they need to be able to write, in cursive. You really don't know what this position is actually supposed to do.
Right.
You don't
I
know
mean,
what
I know it's
software.
HR.
Yeah, but it could be or it can't be, right? I'm just saying you haven't wrote it
Right.
down yet. It could be
Right.
HR, it could be office management, it could be data processing, it could be whatever, because you
Right.
haven't wrote the duties down of what's actually needed for that person to fill that position, right?
Right.
Until you write that down, like I need somebody to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Even if you were to say I need them to do this on Monday, the more detailed you can spell it out, the better it is when you go to look for that person,
Right.
because you know who you don't want in your space.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So as an entrepreneur myself, I hire people like VAs. I got other people that I do like contract and work with and different things like that. Um
Mm-hmm.
we we have to think about all the options, right? Because once you realize like, man, it's all on me. Win, lose, or draw is all, until you feel like that, until you actually own that, it's always gonna be, dang, if I just had a little help. Nah, when you own it, you like, I gotta get some help. So let me go look for some help. It's a
Mm-hmm.
different attitude. And man, you can get help from everywhere. Facebook. I posted a Indeed ad. My first Indeed ad, I was working with a lady. That's crazy. We was just chatting on Facebook, but I was working with a lady last summer, and she was like, she was doing some tax stuff with me. I built a tax team. I don't do a lot of taxes myself, but I got a tax team, and I wanted to start building my tax team. And she was like giving me the game last summer, and she was like, post this on Indeed and blah blah blah. And an ad is free. Indeed ad is free. All you got to do is have a business. You can go right on there and post the Indeed ad. I posted an ad for tax preparers, and I found like it was like 60 responses. I didn't pay for ads or nothing. Swear,
Mm.
bro, within like 3 or 4 days, I had like 60 responses. By the time the ad expired, I forgot how long it was. It might have been 2 weeks or 30 days, whatever. I had like 100 and some responses. You see what I'm
Mm.
saying? And it's just the
Right.
Indeed ad. So if you posted a part time, or if you said, I'm paying you per, whatever, you can go on Indeed and basically outline what you want them to do, outline the criteria and what the payment details will be. And unless you know, it's no point in being on Indeed. It's no point in you making a Facebook post and saying you need help. Let's say you said I need help at the shop. That can mean anything. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That could
Right.
literally mean anything. That could mean, hey, I need somebody to come sweep up some trash. I need, what do you actually need? You need to map out the help you really need. I need somebody to do 1 through 8. That's it. I need somebody to do this. And that'll
Right.
help you narrow it down. A lot of us, we box ourselves in our family and different people we don't know, but you may make a post and somebody that knows somebody may do it. They may say, hey, you got a perfect opportunity coming up in the next 30 days. School is about to be out. Got a couple more
Right.
weeks of school. It's easy to get a 15-year-old in there, 16-year-old. They're great with computers. The only thing that's going to be is keeping them off them damn phones. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Right.
If you can keep them off the phones, or you find somebody that can lock in a little bit and say, hey, I got a summer job opportunity for you. And that'll give
Mm.
you time to work out the kinks. If you get a 14, 15-year-old in there, get them a few hours a day, 4 or 5 hours a day, that end up being them 20 hours a week. And they may love making that $15 to sit there and do whatever else you need them to do.
Right. Right.
You
Right.
see what I'm saying? Now you know, going into September, August, September, who you really need in the office, right? Because you done ran through it with the youngster. You know, okay, I need somebody to do a little more,
Mm-hmm.
right? I need somebody that's gonna do this, and it give you time to get your bank up a little bit, because now you
Right.
focusing on the actual work.
Right.
So you can pay the next person a little more. Look, now it's $18 with incentives.
Mm-hmm.
$18, I might give you a raise in 60 days. We're gonna do a review in 60 days. If you doing your thing, I'm gonna give you another $2.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go up to 20 in 60 days if you handling your business. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Right? But you gotta be able to do that, man. As you are an entrepreneur, I fully believe in 100%. It's my fault. Win, lose, or draw. I go through things in my business, as I stated earlier, about making these phone calls. Like, bro, I didn't have AI make calls. I didn't pay somebody to make calls, whatever. And the calls don't turn out the way they do when I make them. So
Right.
I'm gonna
Right.
have to make these calls until I can replicate myself and find somebody that's able to communicate the way I communicate and be able to close on these calls.
Right.
Right.
Right. Right.
But it's my fault. If I
Yeah.
don't sign nobody up in a week or two, it ain't nobody's fault. It ain't the AI fault, because I programmed the AI. So if the AI ain't doing its job, it's my fault.
Right.
If the automations ain't getting people on these calls, then it's my fault. Whatever it is my fault.
Yeah. That's my mindset though too. It's my fault. You know what I'm
My
saying?
fault.
I'm just trying to get around the right people around me that can help point me in the right direction mentally because I get brain fog. All is new to me. So,
We all
yeah.
do. Man, listen, I'm an NBA. Listen, my sister is me and my sister was talking last night. And she said I'll be Peter Petting or something. There's some word she used talking about my ADD. Like, boy, you be all over the place. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
a conversation we had maybe a week or so ago, it kind of made me realize, like, pit patting. That's what she said. You pit patting around. You pit patting around again. So it kind of made me realize, like, dang, I need to, focus up a little bit. You need to be around somebody that can hold you accountable. You got the
Right.
wife there. When you slipping up, the wife need to bring you back. Look, hold on now. You don't need to start another Netflix series. You need to get this person hired. You need to focus
Mhm.
up. You know what I'm saying? Most
Right.
people,
Right. Right.
most people, they don't really want that, right? But to be successful, you need that. That's all a coach is, because I do business coaching. That's why the,
Mhm.
the the texts and stuff say Coach JP. I'm telling you, most people just need accountability.
Right. Right.
Most of the time, the stuff that I'm telling people is nothing that they can't find on YouTube. It's
Mm.
nothing they can't find in a $20 book. You know what I mean? It's nothing that
Mhm.
they can't find for free. like I said, on YouTube or anywhere else on the online, what people really need is some type of accountability. They need somebody to say, "Hey, you need to hire somebody by the end of the week." And you're like,
Hmm.
dang, I don't. No, you need to hire somebody by the end of the week. I'm calling you Friday, and I'm gonna make sure you hire somebody. If you haven't hired nobody, I'm gonna talk to the wife, and I'm gonna make sure she hires somebody.
Right,
You
right,
know what I
right,
mean?
right,
You like people need that type of accountability, and that's all coaches do. Man, it's people charging hundreds of thousands of dollars for coaching, millions of dollars, and it's just accountability. It's just accountability. So just you know, set a date. Like, look, I need to hire somebody by June 15th.
right.
You know, first step is actually get what you need them to do, and then see how much that's worth to you. Sweeping up the shop may not be worth $15 an hour, but
Hmm.
processing payments and sending out invoices or whatever else that can be worth $15 an hour.
Right.
Posting on social media for you, whatever. Like you just give them something to do. Look, I'm gonna give
Yeah.
you $15 an hour, but you got to run my Facebook and my Instagram page and post pictures of my work, and you know what I mean.
Hmm.
Help me get my marketing up. Like you pay them to do that, and even that, you still can get that 14, 15-year-old in there and have them doing that.
Right,
You
right.
know what I'm saying? They love social media.
Yeah, that's their thing.
Yeah. Yep. So it's man, listen, bro, just write down what you really need, man. Not don't guess it. Don't throw wet paper towel at the wall. You know what I mean? Don't throw spitballs and nothing at the wall. Just really sit down and say, this is what I need. I need somebody to do these 5 things or these 8 things or these 10 things. I need somebody to handle this business so I can handle my business.
Right,
And you're gonna see how much business get handled. Right? Clarity is everything,
right.
my guy. So I see a couple more people on there. Frederick,
Hey, how you doing?
what's up, man? What's holding you
Okay.
back, man? Talk to me.
Well, I was just going to share a recent story that happened to me. I met with a couple clients. Um, the first one I met with, it was a referral. They referred me, the Chamber of Commerce in my area referred me to this person. This lady has a startup healthcare business. She's doing like hydration drips, Botox, small little front. And I thought that okay, let's see what that can be. I had my first conversation with her. It was lengthy conversation, a little bit too lengthy. Sometimes when you work with potential clients, they want to get as much free information as they can, writing it down so they can do their own research. And maybe I know somebody that can do this and do that if he don't work out. And so that ended up being the case. I ended up meeting with her. It's supposed to be 30, 45 minute conversation. Ended up being 3 hours. And I gave her a little bit more time because I wanted to establish a relationship.
Hmm.
Based on our initial conversation, she needed really a business partner. So we talked about my being a CTO. I have a background in IT. Talking about being a business partner as opposed to, putting me, paying me per project or, and then once we got down to it, I ended up showing her. I put together two slideshow decks. One, what a CTO looks like. What's the value add that I can bring to her business? How does it benefit me? How does it benefit her? What would I be? What's my function?
Hmm.
That I'd be doing to build her business, and how would the scaling look like? And then the other one was more about the conversation about overall, for the business, what that could look like. And then I gave her about four different uh, payment structures. The CTO, um, a retainer, you know, and with a monthly, uh, cost as well for maintaining as well. So I wouldn't be a business partner, right? So she wouldn't have that benefit. And then the others would be more about a project basis, and then per project. If it's a website, if it's social media, if it's whatever it is, because I'm building a full service agency. So the other was just more an advisor. I'm pulling back, keep pulling back, pulling back. Now we at advisor. Now I'm hands off. I'm advising whatever talent you have, whatever your staff. These people are not experts. They're not even talent in the you know the area that they're working in. I'm not training them. I'm advising. That doesn't really benefit her. Um, she ended up telling me that I'm kicking myself in the butt because I renovated this building. She has a brick and mortar, also a mobile business. I renovated this building, spent $30,000. I said, okay, you own this. Right? No, she doesn't own it. So wow, why would you do that? You haven't even opened. Why would you do
Dang.
that? She said, well, yeah, I see that, and I could have invested that money into you. Exactly. And then once revenue starts to build, then you gradually renovate. Um, and she said, before I left, she said she couldn't even afford the rent. She couldn't pay me. I said, listen, I feel disappointed that our time was wasted here. Maybe, think about it. This is a major investment. Maybe do what you can, talk to your staff, your board, what have you, and see if there's something you can do because it's the difference of you being successful, at one level versus another level. Um, this is really key. And I talked to her a day later, um, and she said the same thing. She said she was shocked at how much it was because she was paying her physicians so much lower, but they're only coming in to do drips here, and there, and that's how they'll do 1 hour at one location, but they'll split that between 20 locations. It's not the same model as it
Hmm.
would be for me. So I just realized that some people are just really uneducated in terms of business. There's levels, right? I feel like there's a whole lot more for me to learn, but where I'm at was leaps and bounds where her mindset was in terms of business to get the services that she needs to get herself up and running. you know. And because the referral was through the Chamber of Commerce, I had to contact them and set that straight. So I maintained that relationship because they're going to advocate for me and continue to assist in building my business and let that grow. So, and the other person I met, he was just right off the bat. Um, I have ADHD. I got ADHD and I don't have, I don't want to be taken to the bank. And I was just like, okay, well, if that's how you approach it, then I'm not for you.
Yeah,
You know, I'm just not for you. So this is the beginning, and this is a new area for me. I had a business before on the East Coast. I'm in Cali, in the Bay Area, and this is new. I joined a Black executive men's group, who's a great resource. They've shared some resources with me in terms of getting some seed capital and grants, um, and I'm learning AI and becoming an AI professional. So that's going to be one of my premier services that I provide businesses to enhance their we talk their businesses and so yeah, that was just a crazy story.
that's crazy. I was waiting to hear from you. We were supposed to connect. I was gonna call you today. I had took my notes because I remember you was talking about having to meet with her. I was gonna
Yeah,
check in with you to see how that worked out, but I figured if you hadn't called me, it didn't go as planned.
yeah, man, crazy. I got something on the calendar for us tomorrow, but yeah, she was I don't think she's gonna be successful
Yeah,
if she
that
can't afford her lease. you
and
know
but the same way that you so in a lot of businesses, and you'll see this the more you keep doing these meetings and reaching out. See, I talk to business owners so much, like on a daily, because not only do I run my ads and I do these reach out calls, I like have people reach out to me sometimes just through Google or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And when you talk to business owners, like I had a guy, he had a sub shop, and me and this guy talked and we talked, And it was the same type of thing where he was like, look, man, I need you. He said, look, I've been trying to open this sub shop for a year and a half. He basically was like, everything is done. Like he had it renovated, the refrigerators were in there. He just needed help with just getting the marketing together. Like,
Hmm.
and I was like, look, I can do that. And I sent him he was like Johnny on the spot for maybe 2 weeks while we discussed the different things that he needed. And after I sent the proposal, it
Yeah.
was all downhill,
Crickets.
right? It was literally crickets. And we had a meeting that was like, say like that was a Friday. I sent the proposal and we were supposed to have a meeting Monday. And he like texted me maybe an hour before the meeting, was like, hey, can we reschedule this meeting? And and all of this stuff. And I was like, I knew it then. I was like, hold on, every meeting before this, and we were meeting like twice a week, and it may have been like 5 meetings. He was Johnny on the spot, Johnny on the spot. And I say, now that I sent the proposal, you want to, propose, oh, let me postpone the meeting. Can we this and that? And to be honest, I sent him something that right now, and it's only been about 6 months. Right now, it would be at least double,
Yeah.
at least double, and it may even be triple what I sent them before. Because I was like coming out of school, and I was kind of like, I want to get some people under my belt, but I realized that like people want help, but they don't want to pay for it, right?
Hmm.
And if they do want to pay for it, they don't want to pay you what you want. They
Hmm.
want to pay you what they feel like you deserve instead of like, nah, bro, I'm not worth that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I want what I want. So as you continue to grow your business, keep your standards. The worst thing you could have did in that position was to say, oh, it's too much. Well, I can do it for, I wouldn't dare.
Right. Right.
I wouldn't dare, because now I'm devaluing myself. Now you can't even trust me because it seemed like I tried to slime ball you.
Right.
If I give you a $1,000 uh proposal, and you, oh man, I didn't think it was going, and I say, well, I could do it for 250. You looking at me like, man, this dude, you know what I'm saying? So that's all it's really worth was 250.
Yeah.
Now you don't even trust me. So we got to get used to those no's, and we got to get used to um basically like you said with the second guy, yeah, I'm just not for you. We
Yeah.
got to get used to that, as especially as service providers, man. I'm just not for you. If I went to Brother Bernard and I'm like, look, man, I need some work on my car, and he tell me, oh man, I looked at it as X, Y, and Z. That's going to be about $800. I can't say, man, all I got is 300. You're gonna be looking like, bro, it's 800. Get with me when you get it together.
Right.
But with services, people think that, well, you don't have parts and labor technically. You know what I mean? You just giving me a service. People don't realize I spend maybe $2,500 in software fees and different things before my month start.
They think it's magic, especially
Yeah,
now with AI. They think it's magic. They go on GoDaddy. They say, "Oh, well, I see you can do this for $20, this for $50. You can get this whole service for $100 a month." And I was like, "Well, that has nothing to do with me. First of all, I don't use these templates. But even if I did, I would do a much better job than anybody you could probably know to use those, right?"
yeah.
So,
You got to set your value, and then what? I'm gonna talk about when I go live a little later today, I'm gonna talk about just pricing and pricing yourself out of the range of the BS. Because
mm,
sometimes you got to do that. I had to learn that the hard way. If you say, "Hey, I can help you out for $500," you get all of the $500 people. If you say, "Hey, I can help you for $5,000," it could be the same thing. You get a different type of person.
right,
You
exactly.
get a whole different type of client because they understand I'm spending this money. I can get a certain type of quality, and they respect you for what they think you can deliver. A
Hmm.
person that's lowballing all the time, they just want the cheapest service, and no matter what, they're going to complain
Hmm.
because they think that you're supposed to bend over backwards for that $500.
Right.
Right? You get somebody you like, look, man, I only work on Lexus. The clientele gonna be half decent. I only
Hmm.
work on Benzes. I only work on whatever. You know what I'm saying, Bernard? You deal with clients regularly. You get people that try to, oh man, you can't listen, man. What I charge $2,500 to put the engine in. It just is what it is. Go down the street and you can go get whoever you want to get. But you have to
Right.
be comfortable in your service and what your actual value is too, because you can cheat yourself just not being confident.
That's right.
Just not being confident, you can go into situations and cheat yourself. You look up. I did it. I told somebody I could do some automations for them for like 250. And do you know that turned into a month-long project? Literally a month-long project. And I wasn't mad at her. She and I worked everything out. We got it done. But I didn't realize how much work she wanted done for this project. And
Mm-hmm.
it was literally 4 weeks worth of work. Like I was spending maybe 15 hours a week for 4 weeks doing something for 250.
Mm-hmm.
No joke, bro. Like she wanted so much detail in this setup. And I was like, dang, I'll go do something. Then she was having me do stuff that couldn't be done. And she was like, I'm pretty sure you could do it. I'm pretty sure. I'm like, nah, I don't think I can do this. But I still wanted to try because she paid me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to try, like, oh man, this can't be done like this. And I learned the
Yeah,
lesson.
one thing I did was that I told her to, come with your budget, you know, in that conversation. We had a conversation on the phone. Now, when we meet, come with your budget. Know what your budget could be,
So what did she
regardless.
say her budget was?
She didn't say she didn't have a budget.
Her
She
budget was
didn't
the
have
hookup.
her
Just give me
budget.
the just give
Yeah.
me the hookup.
You know what her budget was? She was hustling. She was like, here's some office space. You can work here. You can have a brick. I don't need this. This is not something I need. I work remote. I have an office at my house. I don't need a brick and mortar to bring in clients. That's not beneficial for me. Um, yes, she was trying to use other things. Yeah, I have a staff member. Her husband knows computers. He can help you. What does no computers mean? What is what's he gonna do? He just helps wherever. And no, that's the type of staff that she has to help her without paying for it.
That's it. So even if she paid you the initial payment, she was gonna have problems month to month.
He's gonna have problems.
She was gonna have problems.
She's gonna have problems.
So
So
Ron,
that's not the type of client that I would use.
yeah, and we don't want them people. I do
No.
I do consulting and beyond the software and different things like that. I do consulting and like I say, you charge a premium price, you get premium clients, man.
Right.
As my prices went up, I got a better not only but the more you do something, the more comfortable you get in the actual process and you're comfortable to raise your rates.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Then once you raise your rates, you start talking to a whole different type of person.
Right.
Okay, so I don't know who iPhone is. Whoever iPhone is, you tapped in or you want to provide some type of input? Okay. I don't know who iPhone is. So Ron, you got us on mute. They might be at work or something.
No, I'm good. Hello.
How you doing? What's up?
What's up? What's up? Hey, this is very, very interesting. One thing I wanted to touch on, because I'm actually a consultant myself, but I consult in the food service industry,
Okay.
specifically. And for the brother that has some hiring issues, think about creative hiring. I'll give you an example. Um, So we have a partnership with the Upward Bound program. The Upward Bound program, then in turn, I get them their certification, their ServSafe certification. Okay. So I have a relationship with like 32 McDonald's and 40 Steak and Shakes.
Hmm.
So basically, what I do is take the people from Upward Bound and give these young people jobs. So that might be something that you can look into as you develop community partners. Also, too, creative hiring. So, in that same aspect, the Upward Bound program, along with two universities here that offer culinary courses to get their experience, basically, they can go to work for McDonald's or they can go to work for Steak and Shake. or they can go to work for a Jury Inn hotel. The Jury Inn hotel does not have to pay them because it's an internship. The Upper Bound program then pays them a stipend for being in the program. There's no money out of my pocket, and I'm developing more relationships. And I'm getting people to fill those spots. So that may be something that you want to look into. So I just wanted to bring that up.
That's it. But that's how we got to do in business anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's all I wanted to do was like just to pique your imagination at what you can do. You know what I'm saying? You can work out partnerships and different things like that. You may have somebody that want to learn what you're doing. They'll come in there for free and help out. You know, just so you can give them a couple hours and some, some skill training. Right? You just got to work it out. But the first thing you got to do is get over your mental. You know what I'm saying? And get them in there. It's the first thing you got to do. And you got to know what you need them to do. That's so important. Like I hired VAs a few months ago, and immediately I realized I didn't even know what I needed them to do. And I hired two right off the rip because I'm like, look, somebody gonna fall off. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, somebody gonna fall off. So if I'm gonna train both of y'all, and somebody gonna fall off. And they did. Like somebody actually both of them fell off, and the next person that I hired ended up being a gold mine. But like one fell off, I brung a guy on. It was two women at first. I brung a guy on, and he ended up being the one that I stuck with. Like he been working with me like 3 months now, and I done gave him a raise and everything. He handled his business. You know what I'm saying? He check in with me early. Is everything good? What whoop, whoop. And I'm just saying I didn't even know what I needed him to do. You see what I'm saying? I didn't know how I was going to utilize them. So when I tell you to write down what you need them to do, you should be able to tell them like, look, I need you to do this. And you should be able to give them 5 o'clock, you come in and check in at 7. You got this, you may take a lunch break between 8 and 9, depending on the traffic or whatever. Like you should be able to, the best, the best thing you can do is have too much information. You can, you know, scale it back at that, but write down everything you want done. And then you'll see where your position is as far as I actually can do, 1, 2, and 3, but I need you to do 4 through 8, 4 through 10, 4 through 12. And you start, like I said, you gotta write that down. And I'm getting better at that, man. A lot of times I do consulting, and it's probably the same with Ron. Like you got more because you're in a specialized a niche. You in a different type of niche. So you probably have a system that you have. With me, it's different types of businesses. Although I have a program, like I got a 6-week coaching program, and I'm literally sticking to this program. It's still different types of businesses. People own different types of businesses. When you're dealing with a certain niche, it's literally just about the reps at that point.
Yes, sir. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. And this is for the group too. Uh, Another thing that I found because of my background is in McDonald's and various different organizations is that most of, especially our people, they don't understand brand development and brand standards. So if you don't have like a system in place
Mm-hmm.
that complements your brand, like what are you, and this goes for any business. I mean, down to customer service, the cleanliness of your facility, politeness on the phone. If you show up to somebody's house to do a job, are you supposed to have your badge on? Are you supposed to have a uniform on? Are you supposed to leave an invoice? Like all of that's your brand standard. And most of us don't take the time out to develop that brand. And that's what's going to set you apart.
Mm-hmm.
So just wanted to interject that.
Mm. It's food for thought.
Most definitely. The more details you have mapped out, and it allows you to see when they off track or when you off track.
Yes,
You know what I
sir.
mean? iPhone 404732. That sounds like a prison number. 404732. Who is that on the iPhone?
That's me.
You breaking up. Who is it?
Atlanta garage door.
My guy, man. No, bro, we beefing. I don't even know why you can't. No, just
I'm back now.
you back. You back. Then we need to connect.
Yeah, let's start the month off right.
Let's start the month
Off
off right.
right.
So let's start the month off right. Let's connect tomorrow, and then because I'm gonna do live like today gonna be kind of busy for me. So let's connect tomorrow evening. I know I know how your days go. So let's connect tomorrow evening if that's possible, and then we'll set up a day for next week. But let's connect tomorrow to catch up, and then next week, we'll lock in a day to actually Zoom and get in there and make sure you rocking and rolling. Let me write that down. I gotta write it
Okay.
down.
All
I
right.
know
We'll
I
do
know
that.
I hit 40. I know I hit 40 mil when I write everything down. I write everything down.
Yes, sir.
I
Well, I
just turned.
got you by a few.
Yep. So let's
So you know what I'm doing.
my guy for sure. So this one of my clients, y'all. He been in and out on me. I'm just glad he tapped in. So this is my guy. So we definitely gonna tap in tomorrow. Like I say, tomorrow evening, let's connect. And then we'll set a time for next week to actually get in there and rock and roll and
Okay.
make sure we good.
All right. That's plan.
My guy. I'm glad to see you back, man. You feeling good?
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm
I'm
talking.
ready to go. I got things taken care of.
My guy, yeah, we always good, man. I know you felt like you was oh man, I know I'm like, nah, you ain't said, man, give me a refund. So I was like, he still feel like let's rock and roll. So long as we rocking
Yeah,
and
no,
rolling.
I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm with it. That is not my issue at all. It's
No,
something else.
no, I know. No. I felt like whenever we as long as we rocking and rolling, bro, we gotta understand it. I'm very if other some of the other guys on the call, like Fred didn't talk to me before, different people, we've had conversations, so I'm familiar with certain people. But if anybody has dealt with me, I'm very personable. Like I'm very personable. Once we connect and we bond a little bit, I give you my direct line. You won't get the AI when you text.
Oh
And
wow.
you know what I'm saying? And I'm very easy to connect with. I've done business where, I've been entrusted with thousands and thousands of dollars with people that I've met online. You'll never hear anybody say, man, dude did me wrong, dude owed me, we couldn't get an understanding. So that's one thing. And like Ron was talking about with Brandon, that's my personal brand in my life. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how familiar the people on the call is with me, but I'm a street dude. Like I come from the streets. So, I've had the stakes been high. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't like a corner guy. So the stakes been high. You know what I'm saying? Um, and at that
Oh yeah.
point, I understand that your word is all you got. That's the only way I survived. And I've been in the streets from 11. I haven't had a real job in my whole adult life. You feel what I'm saying? So until I went back to school at 30 something, man, I've been, I've had to handle my business. And I'm, I handle my business. You know what I'm saying? But, I've been, you be around a certain class of people, you understand you may not be the toughest guy in the world. You may not be you may not be ready to do what some people ready to do as fast as they ready to do it. And you kind of, you in order to survive that, you develop a certain type of character. And that's what I'm known for is my character. So when I decided to change my life and go back to school and go into business, I brought that same character in the business. And that's what Ron was just talking about with branding and everything. So bigger than, oh, they talking behind my back or they doing this and that. What people say about you is so important. What people say about how you handle business is so important. So I have people that I ran the streets with that hire me to handle their business because they know my character. Your character go a long way. If you have a bad character and people know that you don't pay on time, it's gonna be hard, Bernard, to get somebody in there to work for you. You see what I'm
Right,
saying? So your
right.
character, that's where
Oh
your
yeah.
business
Absolutely.
started. You feel me?
Yeah, I had the same background you got. I got a good name for us, the streets wise, so everybody know I'm good business.
Handle your business. A lot of us do, man. I had a guy on the call a couple weeks ago, man. He making like really good money. What was he doing? Oh, don't give me the line. But he's making like really, really good money. And he was like, man, I done did like 12 years. He like, man, I'd have been shot up. I almost died in a grocery store parking lot. Like, dude kind of like ran down. It's on one of these videos. And he was like running down his history and he was talking about how he went into business. And he was like, look, I went into business. My kids, I done put my kids through college, and he had a mentor that
I
really
can't
like
that
looked.
much money.
You say what? Oh, he was like he had a
Oh, I'm sorry.
oh no, it's all good.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
He had a mentor that like looked out for him and trained him, and the mentor died. He paid for the funeral. And anyway, me and the guy, like, I was digging his story, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of us, we don't, you know, we feel like we have to be ashamed of that. I don't do none of that. I own that. I work with nonprofits. I talk to kids because I literally changed my life, bro. I've been through foster homes, boys' homes, state prison, federal prison, and I went back to school, bro. Got my associates, then my bachelor's, then my master's, and now I'm in conversation to apply to get my doctorate in January. Well, to apply, well, the deadline for application is in January. So I'm speaking with the school now to go get my doctorate, bro. So people need to hear that because people feel like, when I see kids now, man, they feel like, they giving up. They already feel like, this is life. My mama don't do nothing but smoke and drink. My daddy don't do nothing but smoke and drink and hang out. Nobody really aspiring to anything. And they need to hear from somebody that went through probably more than maybe 95% of people go through. You see what I'm saying? The only thing I never had to go through, I've been in a gang since I was 10. Well, I've been in a gang since I was 8. You know what I'm saying? And um, I don't never say, "Oh man, I ain't such and such." It just is what it is, bro. I live my life to a certain way, and when I decided to change my life, I fully changed my life. I don't do anything illegal. I wouldn't middleman a nickel bag of weed. I got too much at stake. You feel what I'm saying? I got too much at stake, man. And I tell them that it's literally a mental, you gotta change your mind. The same me that I gave to the streets, man, I gave to this business. And I make good money now. I make good money now. And I made more money in the street. I ain't gonna lie, I made a lot of money. But I made it the wrong way. And when they said, come on and sit down, and now what? You know what I mean? So it ain't no, it ain't no this is the happy ending from the streets. Right? This is the happy ending. You know what I'm saying? I do over 6 figures a year. I make and it's growing. You know what I'm saying? It's literally growing like it ain't doubling and tripling, but it's growing. You know what I'm saying? And this is the happy ending. Like this is the happy ending from the streets where you live to tell about it, and they pay me to come talk about it. I was in the state capitol about 2-3 weeks ago, and they want to give me some more money. We need you to go talk. We just want you to talk to them. You see what I'm saying? So this is what it's all about, man. Is us just getting on here growing. I'm very transparent with what I have going on. And most people feel me. You know what I'm saying? You feel the realness, man. This ain't none of that internet stuff, bro. Like I said, this ain't a sales call. This ain't I'm not about to try to get y'all to it's like Melvin, he been on here a bunch of times. I ain't ever said, hey, sign up for my business credit courses or something. Like, bro, this ain't that. This ain't the internet stuff y'all used to. You know what I'm saying? They gonna get you on here in 10 minutes in, and we're like, now sign up for my new $25,000 program. And we walk you through this. I'm not selling you nothing on here. Nothing. If you ask me about something, I'll give you some information, but this ain't that type of call. Every week we hear. So I see some people comment in the chat. Was that something to okay, shoot me a text.
I think that was for me.
Okay. All right, bet. Y'all lock in, man. Lock in. That's what we here for. Y'all got anything else y'all want to cover? I know I ran my mouth a little bit, but I give whatever advice I got y'all, whatever it is. We here.
Hey, I'm gonna tap in with you tomorrow, man. I gotta go prepare for this interview. because we got to work both sides of the coin, you know.
Most
But
definitely.
yeah, but I connect with you. Have a good day, brothers.
My guy, I'll
All
talk
right.
to you tomorrow.
All right,
All
peace.
right, y'all. We can get on off of here if everybody good.
Yeah.
There's no like time
Yeah.
set for this. It's literally just we connect, and if it's a bunch of questions and concerns, we address it. Other than that, y'all, we can everybody can connect with me outside of here.
Well,
All right.
I'm glad to be introduced to some of you fellas. You know what I'm saying? I needed a source to talk to because it's hard to find people with the mindset that I'm on right now. And but I got these people calling me. They up here at the shop. I got to get up here to the
That's
shop.
it.
So
We entrepreneurs, baby. We always moving and grooving, baby. That's why I jump on here. However long we need to stay on here, we stay, and then everybody got to get back to business. My phone been blowing up too. Text, phone,
no. And I thank you, bro. I'm gonna start. I shall be tapping in with y'all.
for sure. Every Wednesday, I try to do it. If I can't make it, I usually send out a text blast and let people know, like if something going on. Because like this ain't like this not like a funnel thing where I'm selling anything. So sometimes, like last week, I had to go to speak at a college. So I let everybody know. Yeah. So if I can't make it, I'll let y'all know. But if y'all can make it every Wednesday, we gonna come on here. And even if we stay on here for 30 minutes and just run through some things, it's all good. So y'all enjoy the rest of y'all week. And I hope to see y'all next week.
Same
Okay.
to you,
All
brother.
right.
For sure. Not you,
All
Melvin. I need to see you tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, bye.
Talk about-
For sure.